Hallelujah. Please be seated. I give you permission, if you should take it, to curl your lips and wag your head as I tell you that I find Taylor Swift enchanting. I was, no one wants to get on a bandwagon, but after a number of years, and I credit my daughter Moira for sitting my wife and I down on the couch to watch 3 hours of the Eras Tour, and I was enchanted. I find her, and it's just my opinion, to be real, to be caring, to be fun, to be hopeful. And she has me revisiting what it means to live an enchanted life, to sort of abide within a world that is enchanted. And what comes to my mind, and it seems to be something we reserve for the youngest among us, and when we were there, we didn't fully appreciate that it was a world of enchantment. And what I mean by that, see, in a world of enchantment, there seems to be no end to what could happen, where you could go, what you could find, what you can discover. Really, possibility is sort of infused in a world of enchantment. It's magical. And yet, there comes a day when we hit a wall. We're walking around perhaps having the best time of our lives, and then boom, it's like we reach the end. A wall that basically tells us all of this is going to end. It doesn't go on forever. And we can't see around it. It's like it's a wall. And we have to become adults. And so we go from a world, as I say, we don't generally enjoy and really know what it is we're enjoying until we've fallen out of it, hit the wall. And now it's not enchantment, it's disenchantment. And because when you hit a wall and your spirit wants more, it's deadening. And it like pulls the stuffing out of the teddy. It's just, wah. And so that's what we accept. And even Easter morning is in an effort to say, maybe there's something more. Maybe we can see somehow and I always find it curious. There are people among us who've had near-death experiences, some of you perhaps had, that are beginning to kind of have the conversation about being curious, like, what is over there? Because up to this point, it seems to me, most of us are like, I don't even want to know there's a wall there. And I'm afraid of it. I don't want to admit I'm afraid of it. I ignore it, but it has me captive. And what do you do about that? You just grin and bear it. And that's tough. That's tough to say, hey, it was good. We can preserve it for the little ones, but we're now adults, and there's a wall, and that's it. All right, so sit with that for a moment, and then try on this for size, that world of enchantment. And by the way, enchantment means like, right, having kind of a spell brought over you. I'm enchanted, and you sort of enter a world. So as adults, we say, oh, the little ones among us, they were spellbound, they were enchanted, but it wasn't real. So bingo, they leave that world, and now they're one of us, and it's real, and this is it. This is the real world. So we think, because none of us seem to be curious enough about what's on the other side of that wall. And so here we are. So try on this for size. Maybe this whole world of disenchantment is a spell. It is. And call it instead of the spell of enchantment, it's the spell of finitude, where we think there's a wall, it circumscribes figuratively and literally this life, which when we were children, maybe we didn't have the wherewithal to get as far to the edge to meet that wall, but there it is. You can't deny it. There it is. And it's that understanding of how all this works that the women come on this morning to do what they can. You know, he's gone, and we accept that. That's reality. But, you know, maybe we'll show our love still in some way, to anoint the body. And so they show up, and lo and behold, there's this young man, and he's kind of very casually sitting there, and he says, "Oh, you're here, right, for Jesus of Nazareth?" "Yeah." "Well, don't worry, he's just like, you know, you last remember him, he's gone, and he's ahead of you, and you'll find him in Galilee where he said he'd meet you." And they're like, "Whoa, wait a minute. You know, this is, all right, so get this." This reality and what he's saying to them is disillusioning to their reality, right? So, no, this isn't meant to happen. The wall is there. How did he get through? How did he do that? But he did. And you know how he did? Think about him. So, I'll just pretend I'm the young man again. So think about what you knew about Jesus when he was alive. And would you not call him a real standout for someone who was fully, always alive? So much so that, and I know you've all tasted moments of being fully alive, and you can think, how could this ever end? This is being fully alive. May I say, screw the wall. That's not, I'm so alive that this is just something in the way. It's in some sense, I'm bumping into it, but it's not the end of the story. And how did he, question, how you saw that in him? A man fully alive, enchanting, someone who was all of the things that draw forth our hearts, someone who is caring, someone who is hopeful, someone who is fun. And he got to be that way how? He was raised from the dead by always raising others. And if you and I find it within us to surrender ourselves to someone else other than ourselves, or to dedicate our heart, mind, and soul, dedicate our life to a greater reality, one greater than ourselves, you make that move and the wall crumbles. And you suddenly feel, oh yeah, that's right, I know this feeling, and it comes upon me. And I'm not saying that there's a secret brick you pull out of the wall and the whole thing falls, but if there was, it's that. And it sounds moralistic, like, hey, why don't you think about someone else other than yourself? But it's what you want to do. And it's what we see in Jesus doing, so much so that on this side of the wall, so fully alive that the wall was nothing. And this is the best part. Enchantment, oh, there was a spell. They woke up from the dream. And now there's disenchantment, and this is, no, we wake up from this, and there is our freedom. Break that spell, because a life of enchantment is what we are entitled to, and it's ours for the taking. And thank God for the Taylor Swifts among us, who are seeking to break that spell. To break that spell and allow us to enter fully into a life that is overflowing with enchantment.